Welcome learners to this session of BA Honours Part 1, Paper 1. The topic Renaissance in England, Lecture 6. Today we'll be dealing with Thomas Dekker. The English playwright and pamphleteer is noted for his vivid portrayals of London life and his genial sympathy for the lower classes. Nothing is known about his parentage or education. Throughout his life, he remained closely identified with London, where probably he was born about in 1570. In London, he acquired knowledge of Latin, French, Dutch, and some early experience of military service. As a typical Englishman of the period, he was intensely loyal to his queen and proud of the accomplishments acquired, the supremacy of the seas from Spain. The influence was further extended to the New World from where precious metals were pouring into England. It was an age of inventions which revolutionized English industry and made English fortunes. The country was striving hard and succeeded in claiming the world market from the continental powers that had formerly monopolized the New World. Men were earning huge profits from investments and were in turn indifferent to the effects of their action upon a large segment of the population. The landed gentry continued to enclose large sections of farming lands, with the result that farms, houses, even towns and churches vanished. The self seeking landowners were blind to the evils of such enclosure to the country as a whole. For men who had once earned a living tilling the soil were now unemployed, forced to steal, and frequently imprisoned. Thus, an England of violent contrasts stood out: great wealth and extravagance on the one hand, poverty and penury on the other hand. As a direct result of the former, prices rose steadily and labor was replaceable. Former workers added to the army of the unemployed. The panic stricken and homeless men with families were begging or stealing in defiance of the heavy penalties imposed for such crimes. The ranks of the unemployed were also filled with the demobilized soldiers, once taken from their work and pressed into the campaigns in Ireland, Spain, and the Low Countries. Men, incapacitated in service, joined this army of vagabonds and swarmed throughout England. These angry men, the disabled ones begging, the sturdier ones joining the criminal ranks, swelled in London, who choked the high roads and haunted the city. The honest, employed citizen was terrified by these craving multitudes who were indulging in violence of all kinds and were themselves, owing to war experience, heartless and callous towards life. The potential danger to life and property in such horrid times was ever more present to Queen Elizabeth, alarming and fearsome, demanding immediate action. Stringent laws were enacted, and in spite of the harsh and heavy penalties meted out to the wrongdoers, every market, fair, surged with thieves, tricksters, and prostitutes. The government passed additional laws designed to return these people to home parishes, which would thereafter assume responsibility either for their employment or maintenance. If the local parish received more than their capacity of paupers, local justices were authorized to issue licenses for a limited territory. Workhouses, hospitals, home corrections were made, and wealthy parishes enabled to contribute to others not so fortunate. Nevertheless, in the year 1572, the government reversed its decision upon licensed begging, fixing penalties again, both upon the beggars and those who fostered them. So now an accused beggar would have to spend two entire sessions in the prison, at the end of which time, if convicted, he was burned in the ear with a hot iron, or, if for a second offense, was executed and his family deprived of any inheritance. Thomas Dekker enters the scene with such social unrest as the background. He readily establishes himself as a pamphleteer and dramatist. Decker's association with the unstable elements of the society developed within him a stern moral code which manifests itself in his pamphlets at the beginning of his career and is crystallized into two of his dramas, The Honest or 1 and 2. By 1598, he has already written 15 or 16 plays, for Decker's name appears in Maze's list of the best writers of the tragedy and in the records of Philip Henslowe, the theatrical manager, whose diary provides valuable informations. He further informs that Dekker was imprisoned for debt too, which was not at all uncommon for the Elizabethan dramatists. Next, we shall pursue in other session. It is to be continued. Thank you.